Hello, Captains, and welcome to my continuing series exploring fleet holdings. So far, we have explored the Fleet Starbase, the Fleet Embassy, the Fleet Dilithium Mine, and the Fleet Spire. Quite a bit of fleet holdings there, quite a bit of good gear in all that. Ship weapons, shields, deflectors, impulse engines, ground weapons, personal shields, elite carrier pets, weapon signature nullifiers and amplifiers, Romulan kit frames, modules, bridge officers, fleet warp cores, advanced engineering armor consoles, RCS consoles, plasma integrated warp cores, Thoron infused singularity cores, tactical vulnerability locators and exploiters, pets, Spire experimental and prototype kit frames, a ton of stuff with all of that. So if you haven't been following this series, definitely check out each of my walkthroughs of the Starbase, the Embassy, the Dilithium Mine, and the Spire. I will link them hopefully with a card up in the top right, and you can go check each one out. This one is going to cover the Krenim Research Facility fleet holding. This came after the Spire. So the Spire was on November of 2013 is when we got the Spire holding. The Krenim Research Lab, as it's called, came out in July of 2015. So there was quite a big gap between the introduction of the Spire and then the next fleet holding, the Research Lab. Quite a big gap between those. Quite a big gap between those. The Starbase, the Embassy, the Dilithium Mine, and the Spire were very closely released, but then they had this huge gap before the next one, the Research Lab, and then they had another bit of a gap between the Research Lab and the now current K-13. So this one is going to be about the Krenim Research Lab. Let me bring up the UI as usual here. It goes up to, if I click the right button, of course, it goes up to, let's go to Research Lab, it goes up to Tier 3. So it's a Tier 3 Research Lab, pretty much just like everything else. The only thing that's been Tier 5 so far is the Starbase. So you can see Research Lab Tier 3, Research Tier 3, and Development Tier 3. Max all those out and you'll have a Tier 3 Krenim Research Lab, or what it just calls it as Research Lab. But it is a Krenim Research it is a Krenim Research Lab, because that is, this deals with the whole storyline of, if we go to storylines, it deals with all of the stuff during the, not the Delta Quadrant, but more like the Iconian War stuff is when we really start dealing with the Krenim a lot. And so you'll see that that is where the Krenim Research Facility came about. So what we're going to do is, just like we do with everything else, we're going to go do a tour of the research facility, research lab, and see what is available there. Just reading off of this page right next to me here, I'll just quickly go over it. It says versatile kit frames and profession-specific modules, strategic secondary deflectors, particle focuser science consoles, and additional slots for traits and R&D projects, and Krenim boffs and doffs. So, of course, there will be a lot of doffing with this, and some doffing and boffing. And there's some really cool stuff here. This is the place you want to go to get secondary deflectors, which was a new thing that came out, I guess, around the time that this came out, or a little before that. And then this specific research lab is where they put fleet versions of secondary deflectors. So it's a good resource for that. Let's beam up, and we'll go there. Now this one is located very far away in the galaxy. It is not very close to everything else. This one is in the Delta Quadrant. So it's in a completely different area. Now you can get to the Delta Quadrant naturally by flying to the Solanae Dyson Sphere marker here in space. I'll just show you real quick where you can actually get to the Delta Quadrant from. Is if you go to the Dyson Sphere Gateway, you go there, there will be an option to go to the Janolan Dyson Sphere, and that's the Dyson Sphere you want to go to. That's in the Delta Quadrant. Another way you can get to the Delta Quadrant very quickly is if you have leveled up in your reputation. I think you have to hit at least Tier 1 in your Delta Alliance reputation. Once you do that, you will have a transwarp straight to the Delta Quadrant. So that will get you there quicker to get to your research lab. And of course, if you have the research lab tiered up, you can just transwarp directly to the research lab. That's obviously the quickest way. So yes, that does exist. I'm not going to do that right here. When we switch to my KDF character, I will do that and show you how it transwarps straight to the Fleet Research Lab. But for now, I'm just going to transwarp to Delta Quadrant so I can show you where in the Delta Quadrant the base actually is. So let's just go to the Delta Quadrant first. And this should load us near the Janolan Dyson Sphere, I think. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So there's the Janolan Dyson Sphere. So that's where it puts us on the map, way up here. The Krenim Research Lab is down here. It's called Fleet Research Lab. So it's in the same sector block as you transwarp into the Delta Quadrant. It's just at the bottom. So all you got to do is navigate to it, and you will be there in no time. It's not very far away, thankfully. And pretty much we're there. Here it is. And you can see it. Ooh, I'm flying right by it. You can see it from the outside here in sector space. We'll go right in. It's just like any other fleet starbase. Once you warp into it, this is an open social zone, so other members of your team or your fleet can join you here. And you can work on things for your ship here and everything. Obviously, the outside gets upgraded as you tier up in the thing, but this is what it looks like. This is the Fleet Research Lab. Yeah, that's it. Pretty unique looking. It's got a unique look to it. So we can contact traffic control and beam to the interior. Now this one doesn't so much have a transporter pad like the other ones. You pretty much just use contact traffic controller if you want to beam back to your ship or sector space or transwarp to other fleet star bases. I think you can do that from pretty much anywhere because there's no like centralized transporter room in this place, which is kind of weird, but I guess it just doesn't have one. Anyway, so the way that this is designed is it's a bit of a circle. You basically have this interior section here, which is going to have stuff to do. And then on the outside, you go around to each room, and there's things to do in here and in here. All kinds of stuff to get. So the first place I want to start is let's start with the interior. Because there are some good things in here in the interior part that are worth noting. First of all, we'll come to this console. You can access your bank. So you have bank access here, of course. You have the exchange access. And then this is probably mail. So you have bank mail and exchange right here in the center. Easy to get to. No problems with being able to access all the things you need and everything. I just want to move this over because this is really bothering me. Probably need to find a better place for this. Alright, and so we come around the upper part up here, and this is where you will find some stuff. We've got repair ship, so you can come here and repair your ship injuries anytime you need to if you're nearby in this area. Let's see what else we've got. We've got heal injuries, so ground injuries can be healed. So you can see that this central area does quite a bit for you. You have all your bank mail, exchange access, you can heal your ground injuries and your space injuries right here from this center area. But there's one console that I really want y'all to notice, and that's this one here. It's kind of just by itself. It's the only console on this upper level that's accessible. But this is an important console, guys. This is the Trait and R&D Project Slot Store. This one you want to pay attention to. Now, it's not going to show me on this character. Darn it, I didn't think about that. It's not going to show me on this character what's available because I've already purchased them. You know what I'm going to have to do? Excuse me. I'm going to have to show you on my Klingon character, because she does not yet have these things upgraded, I don't think, so it will show them for you. But what I'm getting at is what this will show when you don't have these things purchased is it will show project slot upgrades for things. For one thing, R&D, which I haven't purchased yet, but it will show trait slot upgrades. It's going to show your space trait, your ground trait, and active power trait, and starship trait upgrade. And what that's going to do is allow you to unlock one more slot in your traits. Now, I can't show you what that looks like here in this menu, but I can show you what the result is on this character. So if you go to your traits, this is what I'm talking about. It's your traits is where this works at. So when you go to your traits, you will see 4 starship traits. You will see 4 space reputation traits, 4 ground reputation traits, and 4 active reputation traits. The 5th one will say that it can be upgraded or whatever at level 60 or whatever. Well, that's here. That's where you come here to the Krenim Research Lab, is to upgrade that 5th slot, or to unlock it, basically. And it's very expensive. But when you do, this is the result. You get a 5th starship trait slot. You get a 5th space reputation slot, a 5th ground reputation slot, and a 5th active reputation slot. Very, very important. The more traits you can have, the better, and you can support up to 5. But you have to come to this console on the Fleet Research Lab in order to unlock that 5th trait slot. So very useful, and also very expensive. I don't know the exact fleet credit. I think some of them are more than 100,000 fleet credits. Like I said, I'm going to have to go to a character where I don't have this purchased so that I can show you what the prices are and what this actually looks like here in this menu. But note that that's the result. The result is opening up or unlocking that 5th trait on each of these 4 traits. So that gives you more powers you can slot into your traits on your starship traits, space, ground, and active. So it definitely really helps. I enjoy that, and I enjoy doing that. I only have like 3 characters where I've even upgraded those, simply because it is so expensive. But I definitely recommend coming here if you've got the fleet credits and all that to do it. It's worth it. It's one of the upgrades that I would certainly make. Let's continue our rounds, and I will, like I said, come back on a different character and show you what that looks like. Let's go in here. This is just the conference room. I don't think there's really anything special in here. Nope. Empty for right now. Let's go around to this area. This is the development. There are things in here. We have duty officers, of course. Duty officer assignments. So look, I just added some duty officer assignments. Applied space-time manipulation tier 3. There, I just began it. So, duty officer assignments. I've already got it going. I might have actually done some here before as well. So that's going, so that's here. Duty officer stuff, of course. I don't think there's anything else back here. It's kind of just a big... Oh, there is something, actually. Take that back. What do we have? We've got Science Console Store. That's right. So, I actually have not looked at a lot of this down here. For some reason, I need to come down here and look more. But yeah, we've got Science Consoles. We've got Restorative Particle Focuser Consoles and Exotic Particle Focuser Consoles. So, Restorative Particle Focuser, what does that do? In addition to being reliably powerful science consoles, every Restorative Particle Focuser grants a chance to receive a stacking damage bonus when activating any shield heal or whole heal ability. Okay, that's cool. And then they have improved exotic damage particles, generator. So they all have exotic damage. They all improve exotic damage. And then they have modifiers associated with that. No, I guess they all don't, do they? These do. I wonder. See, this says improves exotic damage. This one says improves exotic damage. This one, improve exotic damage. This one changes. Now it's control expertise. But it doesn't... I don't know what part of that changes that. Because I don't see a modifier that's for exotic damage. That's obviously the control, but I don't see... I don't know why the exotic damage would drop off on it. I'm not really sure about how these consoles work. I've never really looked in here. But here you go. Here's what's available. I'm going to have to come down here and like study these myself. Then we have exotic particle focusers. In addition to being reliably powerful science consoles, every exotic particle focuser grants a chance to receive a stacking damage bonus when activating any exotic damage ability. These are not very expensive at all. I need to test some of these out. So basically, exotic damage again, maximum shield capacity, and a chance of all damage bonus when you're using exotic damage. Oh, that's cool. So these would be really good on a science ship, because I'm using a lot of exotic damage anyway on my science build. I could use one of these consoles, and every time I do exotic damage, I also increase my all damage. That actually sounds really enticing. Really enticing, I gotta say. I guess they just have different ones for different things. Drain expertise, and then control expertise, and then exotic damage. So I guess there's like 3 different ones. Exotic damage, control expertise, and drain expertise. And then you just decide which kind you want with what modifiers you need. So that's pretty cool. Some very powerful science consoles there. I need to take a closer look at these. But there you go, these focusers. Come here and enjoy that. We've got daily research and development missions. These are... I have no idea what these are. I have not seen these before. Why have I not seen... You know what? I must have never come in this room before. So this is basically... Wow. So this is crafting stuff. Yeah, this is R&D stuff. So this is crafting stuff. Wow, that's very cool. So there you go. A lot of that. I'm not into crafting, but I know a lot of people are. So there you go. R&D stuff here. Kit frame store. I kind of knew these were here. You know, I need to look at these and see how they compare to the Spire ones. So we've got engineering, science, and tactical kit frames here. Okay, we've got a lot of kit frames options here. Wow. This is a lot more than the Spire, I've got to say. Yeah, these have more modifiers than the Spire does. So the Spire console I have has 3 modifiers. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's got like 5. It's got a lot of modifiers too. But it's got 3 main things that it buffs. But then it looks like these go even one step further. Perhaps. They've got some kind of thing attached to them. They do like 3 abilities up at top, and then they have some kind of thing like weapons malfunction adapted. They all have weapons malfunction. This one's weapon damage. This one's cool. But a shield heal, where is that coming from? Shield recharge? Shield regeneration. Huh. Reduces damage to shields for 3 seconds. Okay, well, very cool. I'm going to have to look at these versatile kit frames too. These might be a lot better than the Spire ones. They certainly look like they have more abilities, because you've got the 3 main abilities they're buffing up at the top, and then they've got this like extra thing below that they're doing too. So this could be very cool as far as kit frames go. I think I'm going to have to look at these a lot more in detail. A lot of science kits. I mean, golly, look at all these. Look at all these kits. How many there are in each one? Yeah, that's a lot to go through. Wow, I'm going to have to sit here and like the motion accelerator really on a science kit. Wow, plus 10% run speed. Cool. I like the stuff that says weapon damage. Weapon proficiency, kit performance, shield expert, disable weapons. What is that? Weapon malfunction. Yeah, I am going to have to really look at these because, wow, a lot of good options here. Oh, and they're Mark 13. Ah, you got Mark 12 up here, and then you have Mark 13. So, well, these are already Mark 13 ultra rare. Wow. Okay. I'm impressed. How did I not know these were here? I might have known, but I just forgot. I don't know. Holy crap, though. I'm going to have to... What's Battle Star? Battle Strategies? I don't know. I'm going to have to come and look at these kit frames here. This is some good stuff. These are definitely better than the Spire ones. Yeah. Well, there you go, guys. Come here to the Fleet Research Lab and study up on a kit frame for yourself, because holy crap, this is the place to get them. And you can get Mark 13 ultra rare here, and then I guess upgrade them to Mark 14. I guess they go to Mark 14 epic. I know the Spire ones do, so this is better than the Spire stuff. I don't see consoles, I don't see modules here, but these kit frames, man, I am going to have to come here and study up on this. So good kit frames, guys. Really good kit frames from the Fleet Research Lab. I don't think there's anything up here. Nope. So let's continue around. I am familiar with the secondary deflectors because I did look through those quite a bit in depth. So here we have Bridge Officer Vendor. This is where you can get your Krenim Bridge Officer stuff on. Krenim Female Tactical Bridge Officer, Science, Engineering, male or female. So that's there if you want one of those. Duty Officer Store, you've got Krenim Researcher up to very rare quality. Let's see what these bridge officers do. If they do anything special. So let's see, Temporal Tactics, Temporal Applied Sciences, Temporal Engineering, Flux, Passive. So yeah, they do have traits, some good traits associated with them. Plus 20% recharge speed for all non-weapon abilities. Plus 10% recharge speed for all engineering bridge officer abilities. Plus 10% recharge speed for all science. And plus 10% recharge speed for all tactical bridge officer abilities. Cool, and it stacks up to 3 times. Those are some good traits, actually. So there you go. These bridge officers might be good to have one of these Krenim bridge officers, actually. I might pick me up one of these. They are expensive. 160,000. And then 34,000 dilithium. Wow. They are not cheap, but I think I might want to pick me up one of these. I don't have enough dilithium right now. Yeah, I think I might want to pick me up one of these Krenim bridge officers and see what they're all about. Sounds pretty cool. Here's the secondary deflector store. So if you're a science fiend like myself, you've got a ship that has a secondary deflector. And as you can see, I'm using the Strategic Inhibiting Secondary Deflector Mark 14. I've upgraded it to 14 Epic. And that I got from here. So you have Strategic Inhibiting Secondary Deflectors. You've got Strategic Deteriorating and Strategic Resonating. They each do different things. Inhibiting secondary deflectors cause science bridge officer abilities that apply a control effect to cause a burst of radiation damage after a few seconds. Strategic secondary deflector variants are outfitted with either accuracy, defense, or energy weapon damage bonuses and are only available from a Fleet Research Lab. The strategic, or the deteriorating secondary deflectors cause a science bridge officer abilities that apply a debuff to cause damage over time to your target. Strategic secondary deflector variants are outfitted with either accuracy, defense, or energy weapon damage bonuses. And then resonating cause science bridge officer abilities that heal or buff to slightly increase shield damage resistance and improve hull healing effects on that target. Strategic secondary deflector variants are outfitted with either accuracy, defense, or energy weapon damage. So that's what they do, and then they have modifiers associated with them. You've got improved exotic particle generator damage, or exotic damage, improved sensor analysis damage buff and defense, and then the moderate radiation damage, and then just different ones that do different things. Just a whole bunch of different, they've got shield capacity on some of these too, improved shield hit points, drain, heal, just a whole bunch of modifiers. I mean, really a whole bunch. I can't sit here and go through each and every one, but man, if you're in a research lab, if you got a research lab and you need a secondary deflector, I mean, come here and just study these to death. I mean, just look at all the goodies here, and that's strategic, and then we come that's the inhibiting, and then we come here to the deteriorating, and you have the modifiers associated with it too, and then the resonating ones. And they're not that expensive, 10,000 fleet credits and 6205 dilithium, so they are not very expensive. The specific one I'm using is the inhibiting one, and look what it's doing for me. It's giving me an improved exotic damage, so plus 15 Starship exotic particle generator, because I use a lot of exotic damage on my science ship. It improves the sensor analysis damage buff by 20%. I do use sensor analysis. It also improves accuracy. It improves my shield hit points, so I have plus 15, so I have a higher shield capacity. It improves my shield healing, so I can heal, and it also improves exotic particle generators even more, plus 10. So I've got like 2 exotic particle generator buffs there. And then the moderate radiation damage. To foe, after 4 seconds, it deals radiation damage with a 50% shield penetration, and it applies to science bridge officer abilities that apply a control effect. So if I use abilities that are a control effect, it will apply that moderate radiation damage. So that's really cool. So you just have to kind of figure out what your powers are, and if you're what kind of things you're using. Are you using drain or using control, exotic damage, and that will determine what to apply that radiation buff to. But this can be very powerful on a science ship if you hook up the right one, to your abilities. So secondary deflectors, a ton of options here in the research lab. Definitely want to come here if you're a science character. Kit modules. There are kit modules here, and here they are. I remember that now, and they were just in a different place. We have Mark 12, and down here Mark 13. You've got tactical, engineering, and science. So for tactical, we've got suppressing fire, and we've got a stun grenade. For science, we've got nanite health monitor and the exothermic induction field. And then for engineering, we've got a shield recharge and medical generator. And then everything above that is the same, it's just Mark 12. So for the Mark 13 is 36,000 fleet credits, 6,800 dilithium, or Mark 12 is 18,000 and then 3,400. So there are some kit modules too for each career that you can add to your kit modules if you need them. Suppressing fire, stun grenade, nanite health, exothermic induction, shield recharge, medical generator. So there are some kit modules there for you as well to make you even better on ground. And then the tailor. Again, they have a store where you can get a Krenim uniform collection. This package unlocks the following parts of the Krenim uniform collection: 3 Krenim uniform jacket variants, various Krenim rank indicators, leather band collar, leather band chest gear, Krenim tucked high pants. And it is 13,600 dilithium and 8,000 fleet credits. I do not own this, and I don't have enough dilithium right now to purchase it. So I cannot show you what the Krenim uniform looks like. However, I might have another character that actually does have it. I'm going to have to check around and see. I'll probably switch characters and see if I've got one that has that uniform. If I do, I'll come back and show it to you guys in this video. If I don't, then I just don't have it, and I'm sorry about that. But maybe in the future I will get one and show it to you, because we still have the K-13 starbase to look at, and our fleet is not finished that yet, so that one is not tier 3 yet. So that's pretty much the Krenim Research Lab. A lot of good things here, more things than I thought they were. I guess I just haven't looked very in-depth at those science consoles before, but I was impressed by that in there. So we've got some really good focusing emitter array things, consoles for science, and we've also got secondary deflectors for science. So this research facility is very good for science stuff, science ship stuff. But then also there's those incredibly looking good kit frames that I would spend a lot of time trying to pick the right one for. So I think I'm going to actually do that. I don't have enough dilithium to purchase one right now, but I'm going to study them myself, and I think I'm going to be upgrading all my characters to a better kit frame. I thought I had already done that because I went to the Spire to get all my kit frames, and I've upgraded all of my kit frames to Mark 14 Epic. But now I see that there are actually better kit frames out there that I should have invested in instead. I should have come to the research lab and checked that out first, but I didn't. So all my kit frames on all my characters are from the Spire, but moving forward, I think I'm definitely going to come here to the research lab and upgrade those kit frames, get one of those kit frames and upgrade it. And then of course there's just some general modules if you need some, kit modules here as well. And then of course the other biggie is unlocking, excuse me, that's my phone. I will get that in a second. Sorry about that. The other biggie is right here, the things where you can unlock your character traits and get some more ground, space, and ship traits going for yourself. 5 there. That's the other biggie. That's a big one there. So I really like the research lab. There's a lot of good things here to help your character, but if you'll notice, a lot of those things are expensive. They are not cheap to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of switch around my characters so I can show you some of those other things that I wasn't able to show you before. Let's go to my Klingon character, because I don't think I have those things purchased on her, and I can show you what the menu looks like. Let's just transwarp straight to the Fleet Research Lab. Alright, so we're here. Let me just double check. Under traits, yeah, I have not purchased them. So this is what you would see on your character if you have not come to the Fleet Research Lab yet to unlock these. You would have 4 starship traits, 4 space reputation traits, 4 ground traits, and 4 active reputation. And then it says lock. And it says purchase at Fleet Research Lab. So that's what you would normally have. So let's beam down. And now we can see what's available. So we'll come to this console, and this is what you would see. You would see, of course, you can upgrade an R&D project slot, 1 active ability reputation slot, 1 space reputation trait slot, 1 ground reputation trait slot, and 1 starship reputation trait slot. As you can see, these are not cheap. The Starship trait slot upgrade is 250,000 fleet credits and 100,000 dilithium. Not cheap at all. Now you can see why I only have this on a few of my characters, because this is not a cheap thing to achieve. Even the cheap ones are still 100,000 fleet credits and 25,000 dilithium. And that's for the space reputation trait slot and the ground reputation. So the active reputation is a little more expensive, and then the Starship trait slot is the most expensive. Wow. But this is what you would see, and this is what would be available if you don't have those unlocked. And then when you unlock one, it would unlock that 5th slot. It would be open, and then you can put in another trait. It's a very powerful thing to do, though, because it will make you better on space, in ground, active reputation, Starship trait. If you have a lot of starships, you can add another Starship trait. I mean, it really helps. It's a big buff. It's just very expensive, but it really does help. So yeah, come to the Fleet Research Lab to get that upgrade. Now otherwise, here I am on my Klingon character, and there's pretty much no difference at all in the Krenim Research Lab, except there's Krenim and Gorn and other things walking around with me. But other than that, there's really no difference. Everything should be exactly the same. I am just going to double check that, but I believe that's true. So yeah, there's a, that DOF mission I can add. Here's the science consoles, the restorative particle focusers, the exotic particle focusers, all that's the same. The R&D missions. Kit frame store. I can't afford one here on this character. I'm definitely going to look into this a lot better. Again, I've got a Spire kit frame on this character, but man, after seeing what these can do, yeah, I'm gonna look a lot harder into into these versatile kit frames from the research lab. I think these are better. Heck yeah. More abilities, more things. And then finally, the research room should all be the same as well. Kit modules. The tailor, again, I don't have the uniform yet. The secondary deflectors if you're a science character. Duty officer store. I guess those are the same. Yeah, there's all Krenim. And then the bridge officer store, all Krenim as well. So that's the Fleet Research Lab, guys. A whole bunch of good stuff here. Really worth coming to if you're in a fleet, or if you're not in a fleet and you need to upgrade your character. Unlocking those trait slots alone will be a huge advantage to your character. A huge advantage. Then if you're a science character, you definitely want to come here for a secondary deflector. You also want to look at those focusing emitters or particle generator focusing things. Any character would benefit from one of the versatile kit frames. And then they also have kit modules here. So this is a good facility to upgrade your character and make it more powerful. I just want to do one more character change. I want to see if I have the Ensign Ricky. We haven't opened him up in a while. I want to see if I have that Krenim Research uniform on any of my characters. I swore I might have, but I don't know. Oh, I had Vodwar on him. I had Vodwar and Kobali. I don't think I ever put a Krenim thing on him. No, I don't have the Krenim uniform on anybody. I'm really sorry about that. It's just not a uniform I purchased yet. But what I will do is by the next video, I will go ahead and get that uniform, and I will be able to wear it and show you what the Krenim uniform looks like from the Fleet Research facility. So the next video will, of course, be about K-13. That's the next fleet holding. Unfortunately, we don't have it fully unlocked yet. As you can see, we are up to Tier 2 on it. So Tier 2 and everything. But obviously it goes up to Tier 3, so not everything is unlocked yet on K-13. So I could preview it for you, but not everything is there yet. So I might go ahead and just wait until we get to Tier 3 and then do a walkthrough of K-13. So that will just have to take a little bit longer. That'll probably be, I don't know how long it's going to take, but it might be into the new year, before we get that completely unlocked. So just bear with that. I can't really show you everything that's on K-13 yet. It's just not fully upgraded at this point. It's the most newest thing, just came out. So, we got to wait for that. But then I'll be able to do a full walkthrough on it, and I will do a walkthrough, and I'll show you all the things you can get at K-13. Before then, I may do a preview. I'm not sure. I have been there, and there are some good things there. It's just that not all the things are there yet because it's not fully upgraded. So we'll see what happens. But at any point, once it gets fully upgraded to Tier 3, do expect a full walkthrough video on K-13 as well. And then at the end of that, I will give my overall analysis of what I think of the fleet holdings as a whole and the items and gear that you can purchase from them. So I hope you all enjoyed that look at the research lab, the Fleet Research Lab. Thank you all for watching this series. I hope you're enjoying it, and stay tuned for the next one.